Well, we're there. We've made it. And this is not a wrap up of the season because Orange County is still alive. We're still in the playoffs. We found out late Saturday, even before the end of the match at home against Indy XI. We found out Orange County was making the playoffs. We just didn't know where. We ended up making it to the seventh seed, means a trip to what is it, Sacramento, or as Brad likes to call it, Excremento. Tough matchup for Orange County. It'll be interesting, but we made it.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs. You kidding me?
Yeah. Yeah, you're kidding you? We made it. We're in the playoffs. Let's just get this thing started. Welcome to the show of champions and of playoff soccer. This is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast. And before anyone attacks me, I know if you heard the audio, I know it was very light, but it was Jim Mora talking about playoffs when his team wasn't quite playoff caliber. This is the opposite thing. We're talking about playoffs. Playoffs? Yeah, we're talking about playoffs. Welcome, everybody, to the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, the first and only show dedicated to Orange County Soccer Club, its fans and supporters. I'm your host, Ray Samora. I'm here to take you through this journey as we discuss playoff soccer for Orange County Soccer Club. Helping me out this episode, we've got Brad. Brad, how are we doing, my man?
Playoffs?
You actually do a really good job on that. I love it, Brad. Also helping us out is the semi-bearded man. His beard is shorter than we're used to, but hey, it's Larry. Larry, how are we doing, Larry? You were having some fun on the sidelines. Let me just say this, right?
Yeah, I had such a great time Saturday night, man. Everything about that was it was magic. It was a playoff atmosphere. It was a full house. It was people getting loud, Vuk with the early goal, Sylla with the late goal. And man, the crowd just exploding and interacting. And yeah, I was having a good time. That was fun. Let's do it again. Let's do it 4 more times. What do you guys say?
I'd love to do it again, but we're not going to probably have a home match the rest of this season unless somehow, some way, the 8th seed in the West or the 7th and 8th seed make it out of the East into the championship match against Orange County. I think those are the only 3 ways Orange County hosts another match in 2025. But yes, it was an amazing atmosphere. We talked about it last week that this was going to be playoff soccer. It was going to be a big, big match for Orange County. The fans showed up. There was the march to the stadium, which I participated in. I am sore. If you didn't see at the match, I brought one of our good old Orange and Black Soccer Cast flags, and I was waving it through the whole march. I was waving it throughout times during the match. At the end of the match, I was sore from it. I'm still feeling it in my back shoulder area. The stadium atmosphere was awesome. Larry, let's dig deeper into this. Before we even talk about the match, how did you feel? What kind of energy did you feel from the stadium? And how do you feel that probably helped boost the boys in from Orange County?
The last handful of home games, Captain Tom Brewitt has come up to me pregame and has said, Larry, tell the CLC, tell them to get loud because we feel it. We need it. And that helps us out so much, more than you guys even know. So, you know what? The team, that's the important part. The team hears the crowd. The team hears the CLC getting loud and getting louder as the game's going on and things are getting tight down the last few minutes. So I think that has a huge, huge effect on our players, on their psyche, on how they're playing. When they feel it, then the fans start to feel it more, and then everybody's getting up even more and more, and it's just this big amalgamation of noise and energy between the players and the fans and the players. And when you're standing there down there pitch side, and I can feel all those stands up behind me and the CLC behind me. Man, it's just I get chills just talking about it, and I get chills during the games because I can feel the excitement of stands. I can look up there and I can see you, and I can see producer Andy, and I can see Blaine and Keith and Carlos and all the old head CLC guys. And man, it's electric and it's magnificent, which is, explains why we've been so good at home this year.
Let me ask you, Brad, as someone that viewed the match from a television or computer. I don't know how you watch your ESPN Plus streams or wherever matches are broadcast. Could you feel the energy from through the screen? And how was that portrayed? Did you get a true representation of what it felt like to be at the stadium with the noise, the sounds, the shots that they were taking with the camera?
Yeah, rewatch that goal. Look at every individual player on the field, from Sylla immediately running over to the CLC to Dogman standing off in the background and literally like yelling at the bench to come over to the stands. Like, it means that much to them. There really isn't a supporter section like the CLC in the league where players really want to go celebrate with the supporters. And, testament to the guys out there who built something amazing, and testament, to the team for scoring on that end. And twice it's been Sylla scoring late and running to that end. Absolutely phenomenal play the last couple of late games for him.
And
did you see? Ray, I'm sorry
ahead,
to interrupt
Larry.
you. And
No, go
did
ahead.
you see that when Sylla scored, it was actually Ryan, it was Dogman who went running to and jumping into the stands first, and then after he got his yeah, I got video. I'll show it to you. I saw him out of the car. I had my camera on.
I literally just said the opposite, that Dogman was literally in the back yelling at the bench to come over and join the other players on the field. And you're saying he's first in the stands. I feel like this can't be one of both, and we have to see what the highlights say.
I forget the highlights. I have the video on my phone. I sent it to us in our server chat. I had my camera right directed on Sylla as he scored, and then I was following him, and then I saw out of the corner of my eye Ryan taking off to go jump into the stands, and I followed Ryan up there jumping into the stands, and then back to Sylla right as he was turning and pointing towards the stands. So yeah, Ryan was in there first. He went dead sprint. It was beautiful. I'll send you the video, Brad.
Can I just
Sorry,
jump on
Ray,
really
please
quick?
continue.
No. I just want to jump in real quick. I'm gonna put in an off-season request to producer Andy. Can we put in a budget so I can have like a popcorn prop here, so I could do that whole Michael Jackson thing, eating my popcorn, because that was the perfect moment to do so. As Brad and Larry are having a little lovers quarrel there. Let me just say this, and I was gonna wait to get to the celebration of the players jumping in the stands, but it was actually a pretty amazing. I was right there. I was second row in the bleachers right there. I had brought a bunch of people that either hadn't been to a match or don't come to many matches. And let's just say this, the players didn't care who was there. If anyone was going to catch them, they were jumping into the stands. I want to say it was Pinto that jumped in front of my group, and I got a chance to get some of the sweat bouncing off of him into the face and all that stuff. I'm sure a bunch of CLC had that. It was an amazing atmosphere. Let's talk about the match itself. Orange County went up on a Vuk header. Then Indy equalizes, and let's give props to old man Aiden Quinn. I think is 33 years now. I hate to call him old man Aiden Quinn, but it feels like 10 years ago that he was with Orange County, although that's a little bit of an exaggeration. And I think we talked offline. I think a lot of people were surprised that he had a lot of goal contributions this year, right? And then the late winner from Sylla, the second time he's done it in 10 days or 14 days or something like that. A much needed win in both of those. This one wasn't as important, other for the fact that you were 7th seed instead of 8th seed, I believe. I don't know how it would have really ended up at the end of it. I think we still would have been 7th, because I think we own the tiebreaker with Colorado Springs if we would have tied them in points. But Orange County, props to them. We've been talking about it, right? We talked about it for the last 2-3 months. It's playoff soccer time. They are now battle tested. They're heading into the playoffs battle tested, and it's going to be a struggle. In this match, the players stepped up. The players did what they had to do. They were battling a tough Indy team who was still, till the very end, fighting for a shot at the playoffs themselves. And props to everyone. It was awesome to see the players leaving it on the line. You could tell they didn't want to go home. You could tell that they didn't want this to be the end of their season. and I'm glad that's what happened. In the end, I think it wouldn't have mattered really because Lexington butchered their chances in Oakland, but props to Orange County on this. Brad, no, I'm going to go to Larry. Larry,
Yeah.
what was your impressions of the whole match overall? Do you have anything that stood out to you? Do you have anything you want to talk about?
You know, I want to talk about Aiden Quinn because the dude is just straight up a class act. He beat the crap out of Bryce Jamison all night long. I mean, somebody said, yeah, Aiden after his assist on that goal, somebody said, yeah, I think Quinn leads the league in assists now, and I said, yeah, and after tonight, he also leads the league in child abuse charges because he just pounded on Bryce
We're
Jamison.
watching a little bit there, although Bryce Jamison did him dirty there a little bit.
Oh no! Bryce got a couple in on him, but in general, I will say this about Aiden Quinn, and I say this with nothing but affection, man. I love the guy, but I hate when we have to play against him because he's nasty and he's rough and he's aggressive, and again, he abused Bryce all night long. But in the end, he got his assist, which we talked about last week. Don't let Aiden Quinn beat us. And at the end of the day, he didn't, but he did get his assist to win the Golden Boot. I got to talk with him afterwards, and he's just such a good guy, and he loves Orange County, and he loves Southern California because his family's all still down in San Diego. Outside of that, I would like to talk a little bit about just another stellar performance out of Chris Haggart. Chris Haggart has just been the absolute man. I mean, finishing the top 5 in assists this year. I think he finished the season with 8, which is phenomenal, including just if you go back and watch that replay of the pass to Vuk, Chris has his head down, but somehow he lifted his eyes just long enough to see Vuk back there waving his hands, and all Chris did was just drop the ball where Vuk was going to be, and Vuk was able to blast that header in for our first goal of the night. It was just wonderful to watch, and again, just a great night for Orange County Soccer Club in general.
I just wanted to say it was nice to see Kevin Partita out there to start a match, right? I know that's been
great.
something we haven't seen much of lately, and I although maybe still a little bit of rust there, it was nice to have someone like him in the midfield in what was a playoff match. This is the first game of the playoff officially, I'm going to say, for Orange County. I know for the last 2 months, it's pretty much you got to keep winning or you're not going to be able to have a chance. But this is like, we're in the playoffs now, and this was a playoff win for Orange County. And someone like Kevin Partita was a big part of the consistency in that midfield for Orange County. Brad, your thoughts on this match? Anything you want to give a shout out to or talk about?
Brad. Yep. The team honestly played one of their better games of the year and really good 3-game stretch. Teams make their own magic, and Sylla made 2 amazing end of game runs. Watching him deke the player twice to score that goal was absolutely magical. Well played for him. Those are going to be, goals that we're going to be nominating for the end of the year, especially because it got us to the playoffs. This was honestly a team game. Shetler had some good saves. The defense stepped up where they needed to, limited Indy, who was really trying to win the game because they also needed to win here in order to make playoffs. And at the end of the day, Orange County deserves their 7th place. And they're going in with serious momentum, which we couldn't say, a little while ago.
Yeah, that's true. The momentum's a nice thing to have, and they're probably in one of the best runs of form they've been in the last few months. When you look at it, I know early in the season maybe there was a little bit more W's that they were piling up, but they're looking pretty good and ready for playoff soccer. Let's talk about Sylla. I will say this from where I was, again, 2 rows back in the CLC, when he went for that drive in what became the winning goal, I was getting a little bit of deja vu because I feel like a few minutes earlier he did something very similar and took like 1 or 2 too many extra touches and didn't get the opportunity that he needed. And then here you come see him coming through. It looked like I was looking at him like, oh, he just took 1 too many touches. Oh no, back of the net. It's a goal. Awesome. Like in my head, I was like, oh, just shoot it. Don't take that extra touch. But I think it was Brad in our private chats offline that was saying like something like that extra touch is really what set it up because it put the goalie off balance. I think it was you, Brad. If it wasn't, don't take credit for it. But I think that extra touch on the goal scoring put the goalie out of position or put him off balance so he couldn't make a decent attempt on the save. But man, I was so nervous because I'm like, man, this just happened and it didn't work. Why are you trying it again? But hey, that's why he's a pro soccer player and I'm sitting in the stands celebrating because he knows what he's doing out there. Right, Larry?
Absolutely. And, for the second time in 10 days, he just wanted it more. He outran the three guys from San Antonio, just split three of their defenders and just straight outran them. And with this goal on Saturday, he just, deke, boom, back of the net. He just wanted it more. He, the guy won a big college award for a reason. And these last few games, he showed that, he absolutely deserves his spot. Man, I'd love to see him out on the pitch more than what we had. We had a couple weeks of injuries and, not always in the starting 11. But man, when he comes on, teams should be absolutely terrified to see his, Sylla coming into the game. Other teams should be saying, crap, we were hoping he would just sit out tonight.
Yeah, that's something called, and I recall, I don't know who told me, but I know someone from the team made a comment to me that Sylla's very motivated this season because he was, I believe, rated lowest in FIFA, like the EA soccer game last year or 2 years ago or something like that. And ever since then, he has this motivation to prove everyone wrong because someone at EA thought he was legit the worst player in the game. Yeah, I didn't double check that, so I don't know for sure that this is the case, but this is a story that was told to me about this, and I think it's just really, really cool. Yeah. So, who?
That was Andy, not on mute.
I know.
Producer
I'm
Andy
hearing
busting out laughing at something. We don't know.
And no one else but us here, producer Andy in the background. So that's why I was like, what the heck is going on here? Player of the match for you, Larry. I don't think anyone will be shocked. I think we all know the answer, but who was the player of the match for you against Indy?
Kevin Partita.
Okay. Brad?
I thought Kevin was fantastic.
I do agree. However, because I know you're looking for a different answer, I'll go ahead and give you the answer of Sylla.
Answer of Sylla. Man, it's tough, but I'm gonna have to go with the one that Larry was giving props to earlier on, Chris Hagar. I mean, he was pretty outstanding out there too. You know what I love about Chris Hagar is he's got some feistiness in him, but he plays under control quite well, right? I mean, I don't know. Maybe when Kyle Scott left, he told Chris, hey, this is now your role. You're now that feisty guy that's going to go in there, get some cards, get a little chippy, but you're also going to control this midfield and take ownership. And I Partita's done really great at that. So that's freaking awesome. There's the Sylla goal we're watching on replay. So exciting. Maybe the highlights as we're watching them, they're going to prove who's right, Brad or Larry, or maybe not.
I'm right, for starters, and I already sent the video into our chat, so you can see that I am in fact right. And if anybody would like to see my video to prove that I am in fact right, I'll post it up on the OCSC Soccercast IG page after we finish tonight. Brad, go ahead and look and then tell everybody I was right. Go ahead.
I still believe my case because who was wearing the captain armband? The guy in the camera after the goal, pointing for everyone to join them in the corner.
Oh, dear God in heaven.
You know what? He believes what his eyes saw, Larry, and you're not going to be able to prove him wrong, prove him otherwise. With this victory, combined with the other results, Orange County's in 7th place in the West, which means their first playoff match is going to be in Sacramento. Let me just ask you this, because I'll give the answer of what producer Andy and myself were talking in the match, but Larry, would you rather be playing Sacramento or would you rather be playing Tulsa in this first round matchup?
Doesn't matter.
But which one would you have preferred if you could have had your way?
But I like Sacramento because I get to go to the game. New Mexico.
Which do you think? Okay, let me
Go
ask you
ahead.
this:
Yeah.
between Tulsa and Sacramento, which team scares you more?
Neither one.
Neither one.
Neither one of
Brad.
those two teams scare me.
Brad.
I
Which
think
one scares you
that
more?
Tulsa's playing better. Sacramento has the by far better home atmosphere. Choose your poison. What scares you more? I'm in the same boat as Mr. Larry. I definitely think Orange County's probably the better team in this case, but just choose your poison. Which one do you prefer? Rowdy environment or better overall team?
So I know producer Andy, we're talking about this, and I shared with producer Andy is I'm a little bit more scared of Sacramento. I was hoping for Tulsa. I get it, Tulsa's first place for a reason, but and the turnaround in USL changes all the time. But you just look at the history of Tulsa and the history of Sacramento. Sacramento is battle tested when it comes to playoff soccer. They're battle tested in this. The Tulsa team, now I'm not talking about the players that are on the team right now, but just Tulsa in general isn't battle tested like Sacramento is over the past. And that's from top to bottom. So that is where I was looking at as like Tulsa, I would have preferred. Now, Sacramento's awesome because we're definitely going to have more traveling fans making the way up to Sacramento than they would have tried to go to Tulsa because Tulsa's almost impossible to get to from Orange County without having to do like 5 layovers. But um, yeah, it's I guess there's the pick your poison thought there, but I really was thinking Tulsa would be the easier road, even though yeah, they're the 1 seed, we would have been 8 seed. I would have rather gone against Tulsa. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Tulsa just dominates and we are able to get past Sacramento with no worries in this. Um, let's talk about the match. Orange County at Sacramento. What are your thoughts on this matchup, Larry?
I think it's going to be a great game, but you know what? I'm going to just say this, having just been in Sacramento. Just beginning of October, I was up there for the game on October 1st, and you can talk about their atmosphere. I wasn't impressed. And I don't say that because, the County Line Coalition is, and not because that's where my heart is, but the County Line Coalition is the best fan base and the best supporters group in all of USL Championship. Nobody has the originality. Nobody has the, just the heart that the County Line Coalition does. They got a big drum line. Is that really a huge fan base that's scary? Okay, great. They can put 12,000 people, 9,000, 8,000 people, however many it is inside that stadium, but there's nothing else to do in Sacramento. So what else are they going to go do but go to a soccer game in Sacramento? There's nothing else to do. Go see the state's capital? Great. You can't get loud and cheer and get crazy in there. So, you know, Sacramento is not a scary place for us to go and play. We went to their 10-year, whatever it was, and threw a clean sheet on them with a goalie who'd never started a game in his entire life. Was that last year, the year before, whenever it was? Um, so I see us coming out of this game with a victory. I see us moving on to the next round. Who we play, again, I don't care. The way our boys have shown the heart, because if you look at the injuries on our roster, we don't have the firepower that's going to match up to some of these teams. But down the stretch, doesn't matter how you start, only matters how you finish. And right now, OCSC and that goal from Sylla is huge because that gave us a win. That locked up our spot in the playoffs. We did not backdoor our way into the playoffs because Lexington lost. Lexington's game ended 5 minutes before ours did. We were already in the playoffs. It was done. We're in. But we didn't backdoor ourselves into the playoffs. We won and locked it up. And that's going to give us a huge amount of momentum going right into Saturday and then Sunday, and then the following Saturday, etc.
Brad, let me ask you this. If you were USL Championship like headquarters or whatever, right? You're the head of marketing. Is the 2 seed Sacramento versus Orange County as a 7 seed, is that a marquee matchup in this first round of the playoffs? I only ask this because if you look at the all-time head-to-head between these two teams, it is pretty much an even head-to-head between them all time. And depending on where you look up the information and if you're counting other competitions besides just the USL, it's pretty darn even regardless. What are your thoughts? Would you consider this one of the marquee matchups of the first round?
I'm looking through the rest of the matchups. Um, Out of everything we got here, The only other thing I can think of is just the glazing that the league likes to do to Louisville. Um, you know, other than that, this is probably the most storied matchup of the playoffs. Uh, Charleston, Rhode Island isn't very exciting from a perspective of the casual fan, and neither is a matchup like Tulsa Switchbacks. And definitely not North Carolina Louisville, even though I'm a huge North Carolinian.
Wait,
So
North Carolina Louisville or North Carolina Loudon?
I said Loudon.
Oh, okay.
If you want,
I
if
thought
you want to,
you
if you
said
want to
Louisville.
make fun of
That's
me
what I'm
for the
saying.
way I say names, Loudon, Loudon, Ladin.
It sounded like
cares?
Louisville to me. That's the only reason I asked about it. But yeah, I agree. That one's probably the one I'm looking. I'm like, that is like probably the least exciting matchup, at least for me as a person that doesn't watch the Eastern Conference. That's probably the one I'm like, what the? I don't care about that match. But okay, continue. Sorry.
No, that got my point out pretty well.
Let me ask any of the fans or listeners that are listening live, share in the comments. Do you think if you're looking at the first round matchups, you got Tulsa, Colorado Springs, you got El Paso, Phoenix, you got New Mexico, San Antonio. That's a pretty good matchup. You got Sacramento, OC on the west. In the east, you got Lou City, Detroit. You got Pittsburgh and Hartford. You got North Carolina, Loudoun, and you got Charleston, Rhode Island. Would you consider the Sacramento OC the marquee matchup of this first round, even though it is a 2 seed versus a 7 seed, which isn't typically what you like to sort of showcase as your marquee matchup? But I'm just looking at it overall, the way both teams have played, the form that Orange County's in, and then just the historical value. You remember Orange County, what was it, last year or 2 years ago, go into Sacramento when they're celebrating like whatever it was, 10 years or whatever it was at the big stadium, and we just go in there and get a win with like a 17-year-old goalkeeper, 18-year-old goalkeeper between the sticks. What do you think, people or fans, listeners? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'll put them up on the screen. Larry, I want to get your thoughts on this.
Which part? You said exactly what I said.
If this was a marquee matchup,
yeah, I actually I do think it is.
do you think it is the marquee matchup?
Yeah, I do. It's in the it's in a prime position. It's in a prime spot by way of being the last game of the first round of the playoffs. There's only 2 games on Sunday. Ours is the 6:00 game. Now, maybe they did that because it's a West Coast thing, and people on the East Coast aren't necessarily going to watch the game. But we don't need the East Coast, except New York. I like New York. But as for a marquee matchup, yeah, because this rivalry, in-state rivalry, does go back to pretty much the beginning of USL Championship. And so, please, Andy, Brad, Ray, whoever, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but I think it pretty much goes back right to the beginnings of this league. So when you have that kind of history of going head to head, in-state rivals, just 5-6 hours apart, it's a big deal. And we don't like Sacramento. Sacramento doesn't like us. It's gonna get chippy. But as for marquee, without question, I think it is the most fascinating matchup in the playoffs. I think that whoever Lou City plays, they're going to smoke. It's just, they're just that good. But they couldn't beat us in our house. So I'm not worried about them either.
Not worried about it. I love it. Not worried about them, huh?
Ask me again if we get to the ship and we got to go to Louisville.
Well, if we get to the championship, there's a breakfast, watch party for the Carolina Coalition at 9 a.m. somewhere, which would be interesting. Or again, if Rhode Island or Detroit City make it to the final against Orange County, guess what? 9 a.m. kickoff at the Champ. That's a logistics nightmare for the Orange County staff. But we're getting too far ahead there.
I got nothing else to do that day.
Can you imagine though? Like, are you doing mimosas for the tailgate in the parking lot, or
for
what
starters,
would that be like?
I'm a grown man. I don't drink mimosas. Okay, I'm not a college sorority girl. I don't drink mimosas. Yeah, I said that. I don't care.
Instead of bratwurst in the parking lot, you're smoking up some Farmer John sausage and scrambling up some eggs.
Sure.
That's such a weird thing to do. Now let me ask you this matchup: Sacramento OC Sunday night, 6 p.m. means they're competing against Sunday Night Football, which is the Washington Commanders and Seattle Seahawks. If you're a casual sports fan, which one should you tune into? Orange County, Sacramento, or Washington, Seattle? Larry.
I'm sorry, I'm not even familiar with this other sport you're talking about.
It's football and what
you mean
I
hand
guess Americans.
egg?
what I guess Americans
Hand,
would call real football. I don't know.
you mean the game played with an egg that they use their hand on as opposed
Yes,
to a
yes.
ball and a foot? I don't even remotely care about the NFL. I haven't sat and watched an NFL game in 15
So
years
so
at
here we go,
least.
Larry. Here we go, Larry. Let's try this out. You're trying to convince someone that instead of watching NFL football on Sunday night, they should be watching Sacramento OC. Give
Easy.
me your sales pitch.
Easy. What would you rather do? Would you rather watch 90 minutes of continual action with just a small 15-minute break in the middle? Or would you rather sit and watch maybe 15 minutes of action over 4+ hours? I don't have that much free time in my life. Give me 90 minutes of action that takes a total of less than 2 hours to do versus 15 minutes of actual action. Ray, that's a softball question, man. Thanks. I appreciate you asking me.
No, no,
Appreciate it.
I got to ask this for people. How many people have actually gone and done that where you record or you know DVR or what they used to call back in the day TiVo an NFL match, and then you go watch after the fact and you literally skip ahead 30 seconds between each play, and it literally takes you like 30 to 45 minutes to watch a whole game. Have you done that, Brad?
Yeah, I actually have, and let me just tell you, there's a reason why NFL is built for watching at home because of exactly what Larry said, and the fact that they play 8 games at once at 1 Eastern, 10 in the morning Pacific. Like, you can watch your 15 seconds of plays across 8 games, and all of a sudden, it kind of makes sense like a full movie.
Man, Larry's getting tired of this conversation, so we got to move on. But what I
Yeah.
do got to say, again, casual sports fans, if you don't follow any one sport or any one team religiously like we do with Orange County, uh, check it out. Check out Sacramento Orange County if you have a chance, if you have access to it. It's a marquee matchup for the second division of USL soccer or of American soccer, the first division in the USL currently, and it's bound to be a really good matchup. And the cool thing, if you're not familiar with soccer, uh, there's going to be traveling fans. This is a decently easy travel for Orange County fans. The only thing that sucks about it is it's a Sunday evening. So for those that have to work the next day, it's not an easy turnaround. But I can probably say there's going to be a decent amount of Orange County fans at this match. And that type of atmosphere is fun because you're going to see the camera pan to the Orange County fans multiple times throughout the match. Especially if Orange County is scoring some goals, you're going to see stuff you might even see. I don't know if Dylan's planning on going. He lives in that area. You might see a shirtless, fanny pack wearing Orange County Soccer Club fan out there cheering really loud.
He's not
And if you
talking
recall,
about me.
you go back 2 years. I mean, ultimate way to sell this match. A goalkeeper came in and scored an equalizer literally at the end of the match. That's Colin Shetler for Orange County. You can't get any better than that, unless you only like to watch stuff where there's a winner and loser. You don't like ties. Um, what do you need to see, Brad, from Orange County in the first 20 minutes of this match where you're like, okay, this is going to be a good day for the team?
I'll just go with the two that I've been preaching all season. Don't make a mistake, and it should be good. Limit the mistakes. Don't put yourself in a situation where you're either getting cards early or you're getting frazzled early and giving Sacramento and their fans confidence, whether that be scoring a goal or not. If we can go the first 20 minutes without allowing a shot on target, that's probably a win, especially if we can get one or two ourselves. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing some fans travel up. Unfortunately, cost to fly from Vegas to Sacramento is a little prohibitive. Otherwise, I probably would have this year. Um, and beyond that, just hopefully having someone like Brewitt back. I know he's been training recently. He's probably good to go, if not close. If he can be back in any facet this game, that would be good. Larry shook his head, so I take it that he knows more than I do. Um, but the defense has played well the last 3 games. We got lucky not to have Louisville score on us, but we can beat anybody if in the playoffs if we play like we have in the last 3 weeks, keeping games close, scoring late goals, limiting mistakes, and ultimately, even Louisville, as we've noticed, if you go 120 minutes without allowing a goal to them, and we're in the finals in Lynn Family Stadium, you go to PKs, that's a 50-50 chance about as 50-50 as you can ever get. So the team's ready. The team's shown against my negativity over the last couple weeks that they can win.
They win in spite of Brad's negativity.
And I just want to jump in really quick as we talk about this. I just want to clarify for those that are tuning in for this match. I believe it's going to be aired on CBS Sports Network, which means there's a lot of access for multiple people to watch this match. There's some people that still don't quite get how to use ESPN. I guess it's now called ESPN Unlimited. There's people that just refuse to adapt to the streaming site of things, but this is on traditional cable TV, CBS Sports Network. So a lot of people will have access to this. So if you need to watch it there and celebrate. And I'm sure at some point we're going to find out info about a watch party if there's not already something in the works for Orange County Soccer Club fans that are local.
At the
hold on,
Andy,
producer Andy.
say what I was just
in.
about to say. Take it, Andy. Andy.
I was on mute. Sorry. We've been
Nice job,
doing
bro.
this for like 5 years. I still can't get it right. I was going to say what Larry was just saying. There's a team sponsored viewing at the Great Park Ice at is a bar they have up there? Restaurant? I'm not sure what you call it. Children are welcome. It's fine. Starts at 5 o'clock, kickoff at 6. If you go to Great Park Ice, go in the front, and then the place is like upstairs to the left.
There we go. It's always fun to watch the Orange County games with a group of fans and a group of friends. So I think that'll be a great thing. And there may be unofficial watch parties that pop up too. So, I'm not going to say I know about anything. I honestly don't. I haven't been paying much attention, unfortunately. I'm still recovering, I guess, from Saturday. Larry,
Yeah, you had lost your voice before the game even started. When I grabbed you up and talked to you for a few minutes on the live stream that I was doing, you already had no voice, and that was 20 minutes before the game.
I was chanting that whole march up, and I was waving that flag the whole march up. I had no voice, and my arms were literally dead. But somehow, some way, I kept going as much as I could throughout the night. It was fun. This match in Sacramento. I asked Brad within 20 minutes what are you seeing, but he sort of went with what he's not seeing. He's not seeing mistakes. He's not seeing the fouls. Wait, Brad's mad at me for this. Go, Brad.
I'm sorry. Like, the things I want to see is not making a mistake, not allowing Sacramento to have a shot on target. Like, those are things I'm still seeing.
I get it. So, it's sort of the what don't you want to see? What are you going to see in 20 minutes is what I'm asking Larry. And you're like, oh, darn, that's happening. And this is where you'd give the answers of, turnovers or mistakes and all that stuff. But no, nothing against you, Brad. What are you seeing? If you're watching this match, I don't know if you're planning on going up to Sacramento or not, but you're watching this match, you're 20 minutes in, you're like, we're done. We're not going to win this match. What have you seen so far?
If we are playing sloppy, if we are not taking care of the ball, if Partita is not controlling the midfield in conjunction with Stephen Kelly, if we do not have Ryan Dogman and Chris Hegart involved together, those two working together, because in the first probably 20-30 minutes of the game on Saturday, Ryan was not involved in this game. He got involved later, and you could see the difference. So if we are not seeing those things happening, if we're seeing Sac get too many shots on goal, then we're gonna have a little bit of a problem. But I think that Danny Stone's gonna have these boys ready, and I don't see that is going to be an issue on Sunday. I really don't. I feel very, very confident going into this game, and a huge part of that has to do with Mr. Partita and the way he has played, and he's going to give us 65, 70, 75 minutes on Sunday. So as long as he's doing that, as long as he's controlling things like he is so very capable of doing, like he showed on Saturday night, hey, you know what? We're going to be fine.
There we go. Brad, what is your desired, with what you know about the roster right now, what's your desired starting 11 for Orange County this weekend?
Oh boy.
I know and fans, listeners, we don't plan for this. This is literally if you don't know anything about our show, we don't do any prep work. We don't have a script. We don't have even a time card of what's going to happen, what we're going to talk about. I
And
literally
yours.
surprise these guys. I literally surprise these fellows, these friends of mine with the questions at the time. So I don't want you to harp on Brad. I'm literally throwing a question at him that he has no prep for other than the time I'm giving him while I'm talking to you right now. Brad, what is your desired starting 11 for Orange County, and who is the key piece to that puzzle?
I'm not going to name all 11 players because I think that's a huge waste of time, but I will give you 5 players and highlight one. Hagart, Partita, Zubac, Dogman, and probably Traeger, although Jameson's a close second to last there. And most importantly, I think Zubac just needs to continue to be that 70-minute on the field, winning battles in the midfield, being a little bit of a menace, holding up play, letting the defense in the midfield win the battle up front, or wherever you want to call that, and then holding up and allowing Orange County to transition because we've looked good with some possession over the last couple of weeks. The team's definitely playing a lot more confidently, and then once when Zubac's a little bit tired in the late game and you sub on a player such as Sylla, then you stretch the field. And we've had success doing both this season, or really these last 3 weeks. So I want to see Zubac step up in the playoffs here. And hopefully we're avoiding like we did in Memphis last year, where we went 120 minutes, scored a late header, a man up, and then tired ourselves out to the eventual winners in Colorado the following week.
By the way, can we sign Dylan Powers so we can get that header into the back of the net in this first round of the playoffs? Let me ask you, Larry. Brad gave 5 plus 1 extra player. I'm assuming that's probably included in what would be your preferred starting 11 with Bryce Jamison up there as well. What are the other players that Brad left off that you want to see in your starting lineup? If you can even remember who he called out.
No, I can more or less remember. I would love to see Tom Brewitt back in the 11, but I highly, highly doubt it's going to happen. Latinovic is not under concussion protocol, even though he got busted open on Saturday night. So he's going to be in the 11. I think that if we put out the same 11 that we did on Saturday, I don't know how much experience Pinto has playing in that. Was he playing right back or left? He's playing left back.
Do you want to know the answer to that question, Larry? Because I could tell you right now. Because I spoke to him at the autograph session about it, and he said this was his first time doing it.
And he did a perfectly serviceable job. You know, we don't have the services of Pedro Gramades because he's doing something pretty big over in the Middle East right now. So, and that's that's the way that works out sometimes. But stick Shuttler between the pipes, keep those same 4 in the back. Nico did a great job slotting into the other center back position next to Vuk. Is that the most ideal back 4 with Pinto, Benalcazar, Latinovic, and Dogman? Maybe not necessarily. Maybe not what any of us envisioned, but they did the job on Saturday. I think they get it done again. We stick with our same midfield that we had on Saturday night, and then our same 3 up front with Zubac, Jamison, and Traeger to start the game. I'm perfectly comfortable with that. I think that's what we're going to see on Sunday night. I can't envision a world in which Danny makes changes to that unless he's going to slot Sylla into the starting 11. But with how he's been as a, let's call him super sub, I can't see any reason to necessarily do that.
Perfect. Prediction time. Brad, what is your prediction? Score and who is scoring, if whichever team, who's scoring the winning goal for whichever team you give the win to?
When Brad takes himself off of mute, he's going to probably say something like Jack Gurr for the win for Sacramento.
Why are you in my head right now? I'm going to manifest the magic here. I was going to say a 5-0 win for Sacramento with Jack Gurr scoring a goal at the death to really put it in our in our coffers, but Larry is in here in my head,
It's
and
like
now
Larry knows
Wendy is
things.
here. Oh, Wendy ran away.
Producer Andy, please rack this moment because we got Brad. We earlier in the season we had Larry take on my 5-0 prediction stuff. We had Dylan a few weeks back come out with some crazy like 6-0 something. I don't know what that was. And then now we've got Brad doing it. So can you please just make sure we save this moment because I now can never hear anyone complain about some of my crazy predictions, especially when I do some of these 5-0 things. Larry, your prediction for this match, are you going to be more realistic or are you going to follow in Brad's footsteps?
I'm going to be more realistic. I see this game being 1-1, and I see it going all the way to pens. That's just that's a feeling that I've got. And at the end of the day, I think that Orange County wins it on pens. But I will say this for those of you who don't remember, the last 2 years in round one, we have gone 120 minutes in round one, and we have won those games late. We did it. I can't remember who we beat 2 years ago, but we did. And then last year, we beat Memphis late and like the 117th minute or whatever it is. So that could very well happen. I see this game going very, very deep. This game is not going to end in 90 minutes. I would be very surprised if it does. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say pens, and I'm going to say Orange County wins on penalties because Danny Vitiello is really not as good as he used to be, not even kinda. So let's go 5-4 to Orange County on pens.
So I recall last season because there was the Memphis late win. The previous season, I know we lost to Phoenix in extra time in that second round. In the first round, did we go to extra time against El Paso? I can't remember off the top of my head.
I'll go back and check. I could be wrong. It happens. Not often, but it happens.
Yes. And so you're saying the match will be a draw and Orange County will advance in penalties. They're not going to win. They're going to advance.
Same thing as a win, my guy.
I'm just going, because people will bash if they say they don't win. It's not considered a win. It's considered a draw. They just advanced on penalties. You're going to get some like soccer loyalists that are going to come out and say you're wrong, Larry. It's not a win. It's a draw, and they advance in penalties.
I have 2 words for anybody who says that to me. Hi, Mom.
I love you. Love you. My prediction. It's going to be a battle. I am predicting 3 yellow cards and 1 red card in this match. I can't say which team's getting the red. I'm not going to go there. I'm just predicting that this is going to happen. I'm also predicting that Orange County is going to win and not need to spend the extra time to do so. I will say, okay, here's what I want to call out to everyone, right? If you listen to the show, if there is no red card in this match, you got to follow us on social media and in the podcast forum and on YouTube. If there is a red card in this match, then you got to like us. So either way, you have to do something. But make sure you do so on social media, Twitter, or whatever it's called, X now, Blue Sky, Instagram, which Larry, let me say this really quick before I talk anymore. Larry, you are internet famous now. There was actually kids that wanted like your autograph at this match because they're like, hey, I've seen you. Like I was literally sitting behind these kids and there was this one kid's like, I've seen that dude on Instagram. Like, and he was actually stoked, Larry. I don't know if it's you or producer Andy, but he was also stoked that someone from the podcast followed him back. Like the podcast followed him back or something like that. He was really stoked about that. He thought he was like, so he was in love with that moment and he thought he was meeting a celebrity talking to you, Larry.
You know what? It's happened more and more this year, and it's weird. But you know what? I'm also very thankful because people have so many kind things to say to me, about the show, about you, Ray, and Brad, and Dylan, and Keith when he's on, and people also ask me about how come producer Andy just stays behind the scenes and he doesn't ever come on camera. I explain that he's brilliant but ugly, so he doesn't want to be in front of the camera. It's very flattering because a lot of that, let's call it love, that I'm getting is from these kids who are seeing me on our Instagram page. So it's It's cool. It's flattering. Carrie said it's good for my ego, and I try not to have an ego in regards to this because we all know that I know the least about what I'm talking about, except for when I call out and climb in Brad's head and say, the name Jack Gurr when he was already going to say it. Hello, producer Andy.
Welcome to the
Dude.
neighborhood. Take your shoes off.
What the hell?
What?
Yeah, you called him ugly, Larry. That's not very nice. All the hard work he does, and you got to look in the mirror.
Well, yeah, but here's the difference. I know I'm ugly. I don't think Andy knows.
Oh, jeez. Andy, you have permission to mute him for the rest of the show, boot
Right?
him, whatever you got to do. But yeah, make sure you follow on social media. Follow Instagram. Larry does a great job on that. Andy does a lot of work on all of our social media. So a lot of the stuff you see, the previews for the episodes each week, and all the stuff you see on our actual video streams, it's all Andy behind the scenes. He's the one updating the graphics, the game ticker or the ticker at the bottom, controlling the cameras, getting guests ready. He does all that hard work behind the scenes. So make sure you show some love for producer Andy by giving a like and a follow to our podcast wherever you listen or watch. My prediction, I never got to a score prediction, I don't think. My score prediction for this match
was 3 yellow cards and 1 red card.
Yeah, but the actual score is going to be 3-1 Orange County on the road in Sacramento. Look at that. 3-1 is sort of the magical number there. Let's wrap things up. Is there any soccer related stuff anyone wants to discuss really quick before we wrap things up?
You know what? Y'all know what I'm going to say. Top 4 in the Prem. Do I need to talk about the Black Cats? Do I need to, or can we just let that go?
From where you're sitting with your Black Cats, look up one spot and who do you see?
I don't know. I don't look above. I just look at where my team is because I don't worry about other teams.
Thanks to a great result against who this past weekend, Brad? Tottenham sitting third? Brad's quiet because he doesn't want to say anything because he knows who I'm talking about. His Everton lost to Tottenham this past weekend, which allowed Tottenham to be in third.
So what you're saying is that
in the nice, beautiful new stadium that Everton built that they hadn't lost it yet. So Tottenham. So trivia time. If you go to trivia, who gave Everton their first loss in their new stadium? Tottenham. Glory.
I think it was the Tranmere Rovers U18.
Well, that was in official matches, buddy. Official matches.
That would be AS Roma then.
Whatever. Premier League then, buddy. Okay. What did we learn this episode?
We're really going down the bottom of the barrel. If you wanted to go there, I'll take it there.
Larry.
What's that?
What did we learn this episode?
What did we learn this episode? We learned that somebody wants to drink mimosas on a Sunday morning and somehow thinks that, adult men go to brunch and drink mimosas. I'm not one of them. But here's what we learned. We learned that Orange County Soccer Club can beat anyone at any time. And they're going to show that. And y'all know me. I'm positive Patty all the time, whereas Brad is negative Nancy. You know what? It's all going to be great. It's going to be fantastic. We've learned that Brad loves his dog and that it took Ray 54 minutes to talk about Tottenham.
All right. What did you learn, Brad?
I learned that my dog could sit on my lap for like 15 minutes quietly and relax and really, really be a good dog. She's a great dog.
And apparently we learned from a vlogger that High Windy is less than Heart 33. What did I learn this episode? I learned that Larry is a looks shamer because he wants to call out producer Andy multiple times and say that he doesn't look good. When we all know that producer Andy is the hardest working person on this show.
I never said he wasn't, and I know he was.
Will not stand. I will not stand for Andy's
There's
slander.
no need to look shame anyone, Larry. Especially when you have that beard off, we see a lot more of your face. And yes, I get it. That's your Halloween costume, but put the beard back on.
It's coming. It's coming. This is only 2 weeks right here. So,
I'm messing. OMG, I am so old. I want to thank everyone for participating in this episode. I'm reading the comments. They're not on the screen. I'm reading them in the background here. But yeah, I want to thank everyone for participating in this episode, including my fellow co-hosts. We've got Brad, we've got Larry, and producer Andy for all the hard work that he's doing week in and week out for this show. Got to thank Wendy, I guess. Brad's really wanted to give Wendy some props for whatever reason. You're like shaking Wendy. You're going to give Wendy shaken baby syndrome there. I want to thank all of our listeners for participating in this show, chatting in the comments, sharing with us. And apparently Larry is 1-5-0. What?
Yeah, that's it. No, I was gonna say before we close out, if anybody is traveling up to Sacramento this for a Sunday's game, I will be there. Some other CLC members are going to be there. We are going to do our best to get there by around 4:00. So we will be in the parking lot, maybe doing a little bit of a mini tailgate. Come look for us. Come find us. Let's all make it an Orange County Soccer Club party. In the parking lot at SAC on Sunday. So yeah, if you're trying to find us out there, if you are coming up, message me in the Instagram app. I will have it on, and I'll be talking to people, and I'll be talking to myself a lot because that's what I do. So yeah, find us if you're coming up this weekend. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, and safe travels to anyone that's making the trip up to Sacramento. We hope you make it there safe. We hope you make it back safe, and we hope you have a great time and celebrate a victory for Orange County in Sacramento after the match and everything. Thanks everyone for this amazing episode. We'll be back next week to preview Orange County's next playoff match. Fingers crossed that is a true statement. But with that said, this is the Orange and Black Soccer Cast, and we are out.